What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Happy Red Friday. There's a Chiefs game on tomorrow afternoon. We'll tell you all about it, and I'm going to be here to tell you about my 5 defensive players to watch. Make sure to stay tuned and listen in on today's KCSN Update presented by DraftKings.
You are listening to KC Sports Network, the #1 podcast network for today's Kansas City sports fans. With former players from your favorite teams, informed perspectives, and former insiders, this is the place for you. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts, or on our YouTube channel, all over social media, or our morning newsletter, KCSN Daily, dedicated to your Kansas City Chiefs. KC Sports Network is proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
Now, I might be jumping the gun a little bit by calling it a Red Friday, but hey, there's Chiefs football on this weekend. It's a Friday. I think it's good. I think I can get away with calling it Red Friday, and I'm excited to talk to you about the 5 guys on the defensive side of the ball that you should be keeping your eye on when the game comes on noon, but I'll tell you more about that later. But first, I got to tell you about our friends at DraftKings. In Kansas, DraftKings Sportsbook is coming to the Sunflower State. It won't be long until you can place all your favorite bets on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home. To celebrate, all new customers will receive $100 in free bets when you sign up using the code KCSN. Plus, one lucky customer will win a $100,000 free bet. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving you $100 in free bets just for signing up today, no deposit required. Soon, you'll be able to bet money lines, spreads, props, and more with one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps, DraftKings Sportsbook. Plus, you'll be entered to win a $100,000 free bet when you sign up. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code KCSN to get $100 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Kansas. Plus, one customer will win a $100,000 free bet. That's code KCSN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 800-522-4700. You must be 21 years or older, physically present in Kansas. Eligibility restrictions apply. See terms at DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Subject to regulatory licensing requirements. 1 per customer, $100 issued as $425 free bets. No purchase necessary for sweepstakes. Void where prohibited. Ends the first day DraftKings is allowed to operate in Kansas. See terms at dkng.co/KS. Now, let's get in and talking about these top 5 guys on defense that I want you to watch here. Now, if you don't know already, the Kansas City Chiefs and Chicago Bears will kick off their game at noon on Saturday. I love a good Saturday kickoff. That game will be at Soldier Field. There's been a little bit of mumblings, a little concerns about the turf condition at Soldier Field. It's been a little rough. It's in mid-season form already, you could say. But nevertheless, our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook have the lines out for this game. The Chicago Bears favored by 3.5. They also have the money line at -170. They're favored there as well. The over-under set at 35 points for this contest. If you're wanting to watch this game, you can do it locally in Kansas City on 41. That's channel 41 on the dial, or the NBC affiliate in the Kansas City market. If you're out of market, you can, listen to it on the radio, 106.5 FM. You can listen to that, or it's on NFL Network or NFL Plus, that subscription service as well. So I'm not gonna make you wait any longer. Here are my top 5 guys to watch on the defensive side of the ball. All right, the first guy I want to talk about on the defensive side of the ball, none other than Willie Gay Jr. Coming off a good year in 2021 after, a rookie year that was hit or miss for him, but I think that this year he's really started to come into his own. I've said all camp that this is my guy of camp. He's played really well ever since the pads have come on. He's been a very good vocal leader for this team as well. It's good to see as his 3rd year in the league, he's really grown into that role. You look at this defense, there's been a lot of turnover of, who's been on the team. Tyrann Mathieu is gone. You've got Frank Clark is still there, Chris Jones still there, those guys up front. But Anthony Hitchens, the green dot last year, the Mike linebacker, no longer there. So he's got to step up. He's now the veteran of this young defense. There's a lot of young guys on this defense. Willie Gay all of a sudden becoming the veteran and the one that these guys are looking to for answers in this stuff, and I'm excited to see how that leadership role kind of translates to his game. He's had some really good quotes already this offseason talking about, he wants to lead the linebacker room in interceptions. He's done a good job of that already, showcasing his improved coverage ability, which has been very exciting. We already knew that he was a really good coverage linebacker coming out of college. He was, the stat got passed around that he has the highest PFF coverage grade of any linebacker in the 2020 draft, and that's obviously really exciting, but we're really getting to see that now with Willie Gay, and I think that this is going to be a year for him to really grow and improve. We've seen him pick off Patrick Mahomes a few times, and another good quote that he had is, if I can pick off Patrick Mahomes, I know other quarterbacks are going to throw me interceptions too. He's got a really good chance on Saturday going up against Justin Fields and the other backup quarterbacks that they have in Chicago. I believe Nathan Peterman is one of those backup quarterbacks. I don't think Willie Gay will be in that long. Hopefully not be in that long, so he can maybe get a pick and just kick back for the rest of the day. That's what I want to see from Willie Gay, is Willie Gay go in, be dominant, hit some guys in a different color shirt as him, and just look like, this is his team, this is his defense. He's really transitioned into that vocal leader, not only on the field. When you're at practice, you can hear him a lot on the field, but on Twitter as well, on social media, in the public, he has been the vocal leader. He's kind of transitioned to that role on defense. I'm really excited for Willie Gay this year, and that's why he's my first guy to watch. All right, number 2, I've got to go with the Chiefs' first-round pick this year. Spoiler alert, the rest of these are going to be rookies, because I'm just interested to see how much the rookies will play, because you've got to get the rookies some time to develop and get used to the NFL speed of the game, because, this isn't the SEC, this isn't the Pac-12, this isn't the Big Ten. I want to see how much they play. That's probably a bigger storyline as a whole. But the field conditions aren't great, so do they want to risk hurting them with a lot of these guys being ones? I don't think they'll play a whole lot, but I am excited to see Trent McDuffie take the field. Listen, the first part of camp was not great for Trent McDuffie. I think people did overreact to maybe him not making as many highlight plays as they expected him to. He certainly rectified that in the last part of these weeks here, even getting the Clamps McDuffie nickname from me. I've dubbed him Clamps McDuffie. Hey, let me know in the comment section below if you like the name Clamps McDuffie. I'm going to use it, and hopefully it catches on. I think that it's a good description of what he did to McCole Hardman. If you haven't seen those highlights, make sure to head over to the KCSN YouTube page after this. Not right now, not while you're listening to this or watching this video. Do it after, and go check out the highlights of Trent McDuffie locking up McCole Hardman on our YouTube channel. He's done a really good job. He's really grown into his own, and I think that's part of the reason. I think that this is all a part of Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid's master plan. They really lean into that iron sharpens iron type of mantra for this team, and I think that really helped Trent McDuffie. Early on, you saw him go up a lot against Marquez Valdez-Scantling. MVS has a lot of length. That's something that Trent McDuffie doesn't have. He has some of the shorter arms in the draft class for a cornerback, and so they're putting him up against a guy that has length and seeing how he can, defend a guy with length. And there's been some times where, he did get beat by MVS a couple times, but McDuffie adjusted. You've seen now McDuffie hit the ball out of his hands a few times once he starts to bring it into his chest. He's adjusted. He's learned how to use maybe his disadvantage to his advantage, possibly. I think that's a really good move from Spagnuolo and those guys. We're going to talk about, another guy here that is using the really iron sharpens iron type of mentality there. But Trent McDuffie is one of those guys where I just can't wait to see him on a football field in coverage with going up against some of these wide receivers. Now, they're not to the caliber, no offense to the Chicago Bears. They don't have the same wide receiver caliber as a lot of the teams in the AFC West, but to see him get up to the speed of the NFL game is going to be important for me. That's why he's my second guy to watch. All right, let's get into number 3. My third guy to watch on this defense, another rookie. It's Bryan Cook. Here's the thing. I don't know what to expect from Bryan Cook. Maybe that's why I'm excited to watch him, because I don't know what I should expect from Bryan Cook, what I'm going to see from Bryan Cook. He's got some good highlights. I think Seth Kaiser tweeted out a clip of Bryan Cook flying downfield during a running play, hitting the polling lineman into the running back, and ultimately causing both of those guys to fall down, and I think he got credit for that tackle there. So he's made some fun plays. I want to see him fly downhill and get to the running back and do things in that sort of of way for this Chiefs defense, but I just don't know really what to expect. Like I said, I think that's why he's so intriguing, and that's why he's my number 3 player to watch. I'm excited. He was named as the second safety behind Justin Reed. Now, is he that third safety? Deion Bush was named behind Juan Thornhill. We'll see if he fits into that third safety role. I know when I was at camp, they were working him in as dime linebackers, that third linebacker, when they were coming in. Just getting him some reps there, and I think that could be really fun to see him in a dime package. Maybe there's some blitzing from him. Maybe you get him off the edge. That could be really fun. I think there's a lot you can do with Bryan Cook. I want to see him grow into that role. I want to see him mature into that role. And that's why I think that he's going to be a guy who does get a decent amount of reps, just because they are trying to figure out what they want to do with him, or I suppose they're trying to figure out what they want to do with him, because he does seem like such a versatile defender, such a versatile guy that they can use as a safety. That's why he is my number 3. And if you're liking the video so far, let us know. Drop that like button. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a KCSN update, or really anything we've got going on here at KC Sports Network. And drop a comment below. Who are your 5 guys that you think that you're excited to watch on Saturday? I want to know. Let us know in the comment section below who you think your top 5 guys are. All right, we've got 2 left, and for number 4, I've got the big guy, George Karlaftis. Listen, I've been impressed with George Karlaftis. I really have. I think that there's a whole story arc with George Karlaftis on what people have thought about him, starting before the draft, of maybe they don't want George Karlaftis, to now getting George Karlaftis, and seeing his work ethic, seeing him being willing to stay after practice, ask the questions with Frank Clark, Carlos Dunlap now going into the Frank Clark School of Pass Rush, I like to call it. But there's been a lot of times after practice, he's one of the last guys leaving the field. You love to see that. Steve Spagnuolo has said really good things about him being his sponge. He's texting Colin after practice, asking him questions on defensive line setups. So he is doing all the right things. Now, this also falls into the same category of how many snaps is he going to get? He was listed as a second teamer, as you could say, second string defensive end. Now, if you're listening to this, I'm sure that you know that doesn't really mean a whole lot for the defensive line. They rotate so much that it doesn't really matter if you're first team or second team or really even third team. You're going to get reps. Last year, I think Chris Jones led the league with interior defensive line reps with 35% of the defensive snaps. Like, don't worry about being a starter. George Karlaftis is going to get playing time, and that's why I think it's going to be interesting to see how much he really does play. Like I mentioned earlier, this playing conditions aren't good. I want to know if they're going to keep their guys a little safer. If they get out there and say, oh, no, this field, it really isn't good. We got to try to hold our guys back to be healthy, because that's really what this is going to be, especially for the starters. Get into the speed of things, get into the groove of things, but don't hurt yourself. That's going to be kind of a big message, I think, for Andy Reid, especially with a lot of rookies on the defensive side of the ball. Get some speed into it, see what the game is like, but then let's kind of pull out, and get these other guys in here that are fighting for these roster spots. But George Karlaftis has been great. I think he's been great this camp. He's shown off some abilities. He's been working with Bobby Stroop. He's getting that flexibility. This is another guy that I am incredibly excited to watch, and incredibly excited to see how these preseason games really lead up to this season, and if we get to see a growth period for these guys now that they're hitting other people in jerseys. That's going to be incredibly exciting. Speaking of hitting guys, listen, number 5, Leo Chenal. That dude loves to hit people. If you don't know, now you know. He's the dude who wrote Death Row on his arms, who's drawing crosses on his arms when he was at Wisconsin. Man, he's a hard-hitting linebacker, and he was named a second-team linebacker behind Elijah Lee. Again, another interesting, I guess, placement in the depth chart. I'm curious to see what this leads to snaps-wise, because we know the Chiefs don't stay in their base defense a whole lot. Their 4-3, I guess 4-3-4 base wouldn't really, they're not in it a lot. They like to go dime, like to bring on some more safeties, some more work in the secondary, some more of those guys. That's why Bryan Cook was one of my guys. I know the Chiefs are going to be in dime a lot, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to play as a dime safety. Now you talk about a dime linebacker. Who's going to be that one spot? Maybe Leo Chenal. I don't think so. Maybe Willie Gay in that situation. But with Leo Chenal, I think this first preseason game is interesting because he finally gets to hit somebody with a different color jersey on, finally gets to hit somebody who's not his teammates. But how many reps is he really going to get leading up into this? Maybe they want to try to get him in at other linebacker positions. Maybe he works in with the threes, the fours, that type of stuff. Listen, this dude was ready to hit day one. He was in shorts and T-shirts, and he was filling run gaps. And once they got the pads on, he's been filling his run responsibilities really well. It seems like that's really what he wants to do in terms of being a linebacker. But seeing how many snaps, where he gets these snaps at, it's going to be one of those things that I watch for. And, friend of the Craig Stout, that dude is a defensive genius, a good friend of ours, KCSN. He is KCSN, if you ask me. He is going to be watching that with great attention, and make sure that you are staying tuned to KC Sports Network, because after the game, Craig Stout, Matty Lane, and myself will be breaking down that game and giving you a post-game, let's call it a post-game report. It's going to be a post-game show, but we'll be telling you what we saw, what we thought from the performance of the Chiefs, and what we thought of the field probably is going to be one of the big topics, because it looks like it's going to be a big topic already heading into the game. So that's what I think. Those are my 5 guys. Let me know what you think below. Make sure to tell me which 5 guys you like. Who didn't you like? Who do you want to see more that I didn't mention? Let me know what you thought below. All right, let's wrap this video up. I appreciate you watching and sticking with us all the way through the end. Thank you for watching the video. There's a lot of Chiefs content out there. We appreciate you, sticking with KC Sports Network. Having us be one of many places you can go to get your Chiefs content. As always, we will be back on Monday. It's going to be a good day, Chiefs Kingdom. Friday, heading into the first preseason game. Football is back. I am so excited. As I mentioned before, we're going to have a post-game show on YouTube, on your podcast channel, wherever you find your live shows. Even on Twitch, we will have a live show with Craig Stout, Matt Lane, and myself breaking down the Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs Week 1 preseason game. So make sure you stay tuned. Get that notification bell on so you don't miss a single podcast that we drop here at KC Sports Network. As for myself, Tucker Franklin, we will be back on Monday with another KCSN update. We'll catch you then.